After more than 21 years, the Director of Education at the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library has retired. Dr. Shirley Hammond helped foster dozens of educational programs in her tenure, now being recognized and loved by teachers locally and all across the state of Texas. I spoke with the woman behind helping build more than a library and museum. The George H.W. Bush Library and Museum here in College Station has said farewell to Shirley Hammond after serving more than 21 years as the Director of Education. The acting director, Robert Holweiss, has worked alongside Hammond for the past 2 decades, describing her as passionate.
When Dr. Hammond arrived, we realized right away that she was very passionate about education, especially K through 12 education. And she demonstrated that every day she showed up for work. She was highly engaged with the teachers, came up with a lot of innovative and creative programming, which we still use today, 20 years later.
I spoke with Dr. Hammond earlier today as she took me through 20 years of service. You have had a rich life and legacy here at the George Bush Museum. Tell me a little more.
Of course, I'm going to actually miss my job. I'm going to miss the wonderful staff and people that I was associated with and worked with very closely at the Bush Library.
Since 2001, Hammond has worked closely with educators across the state, beginning numerous programs and working with First Lady Barbara Bush to create the Reading Discovery Distance Learning Program.
So this is where I felt we could broaden the range of children and make it even international, so that children around the world would have the privilege of meeting her and asking her a question during the program.
Renee Richards is a former Bryan High School teacher and education docent for the museum, saying Hammond personified the Bush family.
George Bush Sr. had said that when you have power, that it should be used to serve the people, and I think she personified that. She used her strengths and her endless and tireless energy to help people.
Hammond recalls that energy of helping people even in a time of crisis, especially on September 11th, 2001.
I came into the workplace near the end of August of 2001. 2 weeks later, 9/11 happened. And I remember my boss came in and said, "Shirley, we have to leave because of what's happened in New York City. And we're in a federal building." And I said, "I don't want to leave. I've got so much to do."
Hammond told me earlier today she's thankful for having such a fruitful career at the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library and Museum and hopes her legacy carries on into the future. But for now, she is ready to spend her time in retirement close to her family and grandchildren.